Hello you guys, Dr. Abby here with CHIRO for Moms, CHIRO for Kids, and today we are diving into another topic of cash practice tips. So if you are new, welcome. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. We're always putting out new content, not only for providers out there, but for any patient just looking for a little extra stretch, a little tip, as we specialize in pregnancy, pediatric, and postpartum care. So when we're talking about cash practice, like I mentioned before, there's so many things that go into it, into running not only an optimal and efficient, but also in a successful cash-based practice. So whether you are looking to build from the ground up or you are looking to revamp maybe your entire business model, this is going to serve you. So if you don't know anything about us, one thing that we are absolutely huge on is no treatment plans. So we will guide care and we will always recommend care, but by no means are we signing patients up for a full treatment plan. Quite frankly, with the population of people that we work with day in and day out, a treatment plan to that capacity usually just doesn't make sense. It doesn't work for them. It isn't compatible with their lifestyle. Kids get sick, doctor appointment ran late, sports this, activities that, you name it. Their life is constantly ebbing and flowing. And so we want to meet them where we're at. Then we want to meet them where they determine when it's necessary for them to come in. We give them the tools to support them and we get them out the door and say, go live your life, right? Use us when you need us, and we will be here for whenever you need that care. But with that, right, no treatment plans. So your question might be, well, what do you do, right? Chiropractors are notorious and have a bad rep for these unattainable treatment plans. And for some people, it works really well, and just for others, it simply doesn't. So one way that we have met people in the middle, for people that do want a quote-unquote treatment plan, they're like, just tell me what to do. That's all. We've created what we call our package. So one, it gives, especially our pregnant patients, kind of like an average template of when we typically see women throughout their pregnancy, but then it's also a way to save money. No matter where they are in life, everyone, you know, loves saving a couple extra bucks. I know I do. And so for women, the way it breaks down is we have 8 visits included in our package. And while we market to postpartum and we market to pregnant women, it's truly for any female that walks into our door. Anyone that wants to be a patient is welcome to get one of our 30-minute appointments packages. And so the 8 visits, the way it breaks down is trimester 1, we typically see them 1 time. Throughout that, they might not know they're pregnant till later in that trimester 1. You kind of get the whole gamut of things. Then trimester 2, we say once a month. They might be starting to feel a little bit more aches and pains. The swelling might be coming in. One of the big things, right? Carpal tunnel, restless legs, their body's going through a lot of changes. When they hit trimester 3 is where things shift up a little bit. So trimester 3, we say twice a month, 2 times, you know, every other week, however they want to word it and work for them. But when they hit the 37 mark, we say we'd love to see you once a week. At 37, we do what we call our labor and delivery prep appointment. So it's still a 30-minute appointment. It's still included in that package. Completely optional, right? Some women don't need it and some women don't want it, and that's great. The reason we have it there is we welcome in whoever their support person is, whether that's their mom, whether that's their sister, their brother, their husband, their partner, you name it. We say bring someone in with you if you want, and we will go over kind of our like big 3 to 4 more exercises and activation rather than so much a stretch. It can be some more pain relief and discomfort, pregnancy-related discomforts, relieving exercises, but then also things that they can be doing in those final weeks leading up to babe coming to get things, babe engaged, body staying nice and loose, trying to not have tension on either side, and things that they can take home with them. And what we found is when their partner comes in, whoever it is for them, is they learn a lot. Most of the time they're like, oh, I didn't know I could press so hard. And we're like, yes, we promise. That's why we want you in here. We want that communication, not only between you and your partner, right? But also as a provider being like, nope, let's just shift it a little bit this way. Let's try this. Oh, that's a little bit uncomfortable. Why don't we move positions? It allows for a nice open communication between all 3 of us so that patient feels really good walking out of there and feeling like they know what they can be doing in the meantime to kind of get baby to engage and get their pelvis ready for labor and delivery. So that brings us typically to 8 visits. With the packages, we leave a wide range for them to be able to use it. Like I said earlier, life changes day by day, minute by minute. We want it to be flexible, so our packages are good for 12 months. And we always encourage, right? So maybe they don't come in until 35 weeks. No, I'm not expecting them to come in all 8 visits before babe comes. I encourage them, like, just save one postpartum. If you never want to come back, awesome, but save that one visit postpartum. Let's do a check-in at that, you know, between 4 to 6 weeks after giving birth. Whenever you feel ready, as always, you come in, we say, how's your neck feeling? Especially, right, from loving and caring on babe, we typically see a lot of rounded shoulders, a lot of upper back pain that can persist. So that's the overall package format for our women. Also a great way for them to use their HSA and FSA. It saves them a little bit of money. They can utilize those HSA bucks and be able to not worry about, did I pay for this visit? Did I not? Does the card on file still work? It's clean, it's cut. We simplify to amplify. The women coming in here, the parents coming in here, they want something quick, dirty. They say, just do what you gotta do, right? It's one less thing for them to worry about if they need to constantly be checking on what the cycle is in their billing and what's being processed and whatnot. So for women, it's the most robust package. And then we also have one for kids and one for pelvic floor. Little less visits. They're still saving money on it. But we just don't see them as often. You know, kids on average in that 0 to 12, I might see them, you know, maybe once a week, once every other week in those initial visits because their bodies are changing so rapidly. But as they approach that 1 year mark, we really start to see it pushing out. And it gets to the point where it's like, you know, a lot of kids, once they kind of hit that 3 to 4, they're in preschool, they're getting ready to start kindergarten. We may see them kind of in the change of the season. So one time about every 3 months. But for babes, we typically see 5 visits is kind of our nice average for packages. It gives us time to talk with parents on how are the stretches going, what needs to change, what's new, and feel like we're giving them that confidence to be able to kind of combat these conditions at home. For pelvic floor, very similar concept, 3 visits. And Dr. Alyssa does a wonderful job at determining like how far out, because we don't need to see them next day. You know, physical therapy, it doesn't need to be, maybe it is week by week if they're dealing with something really cute, but most of the women coming in here for pelvic floor or physical therapy for that matter, it's a chronic issue. So, you know, do one appointment, it's like, let's check in a month. Do your stretches, do your homework, right? Contact me if you need anything in between. But that check-in point, let's give your body time to figure itself out. The packages are a big fan here in the clinic. People buy packages, you know, consistently. It's a nice way to save money and it's good across all doctors. So if my patient buys a package, it's not just for me, it's for all the docs, which makes a really nice flexibility between patients and providers and the way that we operate here in the clinic with notes taking and treatment and care and checking in. It keeps it cohesive, and our EHR system does a fantastic job. So would highly recommend. We found really good success with Jean being able to track the packages and how many they have left. So when it comes to packages, it's important to frame it as it's not a treatment plan. It's just a way for save money. If you know you want to be here, you know you want a set number of visits, whether you are here for pelvic floor, your kid, or yourself. If you just want to save some money, it's there for you. Those are the overall structures. If you have questions about how we structure our packages, by all means, please leave them in the comments. Happy to answer any and all of them. But I think the biggest thing is just the flexibility. And we do give a guideline with all of our packages. We say, you know, 5 visits because if you have a tongue tie and babe is getting that released, we would love to see them one time before. Then that gives us about 4 visits afterwards to really check in with you, check in with babe on how things are going. So a wonderful way in a cash-based practice to also give back, right? And say, I want to save you money where we can. And so that's where the packages came from, yes? So if you have more questions, like I said, leave them in below and stay tuned for what's to come next.